Hey there, Happy New Year and welcome to 2025. This is the first vlog for me in 2025 and to be honest, this is not the vlog I wanted to make. Outside the weather is just terrible. It is raining, the sky is dull and gray as you can see, and it's just not a good weather for landscape photography. I do have an idea of a video, so what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna go back down to my apartment and I'm gonna run you through 10 or 12 photos from the last year, from 2024, my best 10 or 12 photos from 2024, and I'm gonna go through them and explain why I think they're the best. The first landscape vlog of 2025 is gonna be an indoor vlog. Not my cup of tea, to be honest. I like to go outside and shoot, but it is what it is. I'm gonna have to do that today. So okay, let's cut the chat and let's go and look at some photos from 2024 and see what makes them good. I hope you had a good 2024. Let's go downstairs and have a look at some photos. Cheers. Okay, so this is the first photo. This one I took in Tofino, British Columbia. I think it was in November that I went on a trip with my fiance and a couple of friends. And I got 2 vlogs from there actually. They're on my YouTube channel. You can check those out if you want. Why I think this is one of my best photos? I just love the whole atmosphere. I love the sky with the clouds. I really like the colors, and I like the fact that the sun is not too high and is not too low, obviously under the horizon. When you're shooting sunsets, this is the best time to shoot, when the sun is just above 2 or 3 fingers, about 15-30 minutes above the horizon, 20 minutes, because it's not too powerful, but it's not completely gone, right? That's when it's the best time to shoot the sunsets. And of course I opted for a long exposure in this photo because I just love long exposures when it comes to water. As you can see here in the foreground, I have the sunlight reflecting very nicely in the water that just went back into the ocean, and the wet sand reflects that sunlight very beautifully. And the sky was just magnificent. I like that blue on the top of the frame here, this section with the blue sky, and then a bit lower we have these clouds that are catching the sunset colors, and we have all sorts of purples and maybe a little bit of pinks and yellows and oranges from the sun. Just beautiful all around. I think this is one of the photos that is one of the best photos that I shot in 2024. Okay, so let's move on here. Ah yes, this one is a beauty. This photo is also part of a vlog. I think the vlog is photographing Winter Wonderland or something along those lines. I went up the mountain, I think it was Grouse Mountain, last year, probably in February or March, and I tried to get some really beautiful winter shots, and this is one of them. Now, one thing I can tell you about this photo, as you can see, it was very cloudy. The clouds were coming and going, and I was lucky to catch a time frame where the clouds were partially covering this mountainside, and I used a telephoto zoom lens. It was a 70 to 300 millimeters on a crop body, so that is 300 times 1.5 or 450. So I used that, zoomed in completely at 300, and then I took the shot. And I really like this diagonal effect. It's symmetrical, if you will, diagonally, because you have these trees on the right side of the frame, and they're all dressed up in beautiful snow, and then on the left side is nothing but negative space, right? So that's one thing that I really like about this photo. Another thing that I really like about it is just the simplicity, right? Like I said, on the left side here, it's basically on the verge of being a minimalist photo, if not being a minimalist photo. Okay, let's see the next one. I really like this photo. So this was shot in Slovenia, in Europe. I love that trip. It was last year in the summer. I went with my best friend Callan. We took a road trip. One of the locations that we hit was Slovenia, and this is Lake Bled, actually, the beautiful Lake Bled. You probably saw photos and vlogs on YouTube about this beautiful lake. I was awestruck when I first got there and I saw this beautiful lake. And I started shooting before sunset, about probably 40 minutes before sunset. And there's a trail that goes around the lake in kind of like a semicircle. And we walked on that trail. We walked probably around this area, if you can see the mouse right now on the computer. We walked that way towards the left of the image to shoot this island. This is an island right here with a beautiful church on it and a couple of constructions here, a couple of buildings. So we walked on that side to the left side of the image to shoot this island with the castle, which is the Bled Castle that sits just outside of the frame here on the right. And that was, like I said, before sunset. And I thought to myself, man, if dusk comes, there's a big chance that this building, this church actually, is gonna be nicely lit. Well, as you can see from the photo, sure enough, as we walked back, I saw this island with the church and the buildings around it just nicely lit with this orange warm light. And I thought, man, this is perfect. This has the potential to become a very beautiful photo, and I think it did become a very beautiful photo. Slovenia is such a beautiful country, and Lake Bled in particular is such a beautiful location to photograph. This was a long exposure as well because I wanted to smooth out the water as much as I could. And I think I accomplished that to a certain degree. I couldn't have a super long exposure, but I think it was like a 20 seconds, probably 25 seconds exposure if I'm not mistaken. And it turned out pretty well. I didn't have to use the ND filter. I did have an ND filter where it was dark enough where I could just close down the aperture. I think it was about f10, f11, something like that, and then drag the shutter a little bit more so I can create motion blur for the water and for the clouds on top. If you can see here the clouds. What was cool about this day shooting in Slovenia was the fact that the clouds were present throughout the entirety of my shoot, which helped tremendously with the beauty of the photos, because like I always say, a clear sky, it's not good. It's never good. Cloudy, completely cloudy sky like today, as you saw in my introduction, is never good. You want partly cloudy sky because that's when you have the dramatism, and that's when the sun can punch through the clouds and illuminate the edges of the clouds, and it gives you those beautiful colors, the rainbow colors, the yellows, the oranges, the reds, whatever, the blues. So that was particularly awesome about this day, that the clouds just stood their ground over there and just allowed me to take some beautiful photos. You can check out this vlog actually on my YouTube channel. It's pretty cool. I have some beautiful images from this location as well. Okay, so let's see what is the next photo. Surprise, surprise, and this is such a beautiful photo. I really love this. No wonder I put it in the top 10 or top 12. I don't even know how many photos I have, 10 or 12. So this image, it was shot probably 40 minutes from Vancouver here. There's a small town called Squamish, and there's a monolith there called the Chief. There's a hike that we have to go on, and you're gonna reach it in 40 minutes. Continuous hiking up the mountain there, and you reach this very, very beautiful cliff with a beautiful vista all around. And that's what I shot this photo from. As you can see, it was at sunset. I had beautiful, beautiful colors hitting the mountain. And what I really love about this photo is the contrast of the illuminated side of the mountain, this part over here, and the shadow that was created on this side of the mountain here. And that's what I really like this photo. And of course, I like the coloring, just like the warm tones that are hitting these cliffs over here. So yeah, there's not much you can say about this photo. I just like the colors and the contrast between the warm and the cold part of the mountain over here, which is in shadow. If I would have had some clouds on the sky, as you can see the sky is bald, maybe it would have been better. I kind of like it the way it is this way, and I really like the color grading that I did to it. I think I got a pretty good color grading. So yeah, maybe it would have been better with clouds on the sky, but you don't know those things until you actually, if I would have taken a photo with some clouds on the sky and then some other time obviously, and then compared the two, maybe I would have said, yeah, the one with the clouds is much better. But to be honest with you, I like it the way it is, just like now. Okay, let's see the next one. Yes, this is typical minimalist photo. I went to Cultus Lake, which is in Chilliwack, I believe. Yes, Chilliwack here, just in British Columbia, about an hour and a half from Vancouver. I have a vlog from there as well. Actually, that is my most prolific vlog. It has about 10,000 visualizations as of right now. And what can I say? It was a beautiful location. I left home with the intention of getting a minimalist shot. In the beginning, I wasn't very successful because for a minimalist shot, like this one is the one that you're looking at right now, you see how you have one subject, which is this pier here, and then there's nothing else. The foreground is negative space, the background is negative space. Now, if you go and watch the vlog, you'll see that in this direction, behind the pier, there's a mountain cliff. But because there was fog, and towards the end of the day actually, the fog kept rolling in on the lake and it obscured the mountain behind this pier. So that's what helped me to get this minimalist shot, because before this, I kept shooting, but I had the busy background, and that's not what a minimalist shot is about. A minimalist shot has to have the minimalist of elements, minimum elements, just one subject or two maybe, but I think one subject is even better, and nothing in the foreground, and also you must have nothing in the background. So as you can see, this photo hits all those requirements, and I'm really happy that I got this minimalist shot. It was very, very beautiful location, and I think I'm gonna go back very soon to that location to try to get some more photos, not necessarily minimalist ones, but some more images, because there are so many images to be had over there. You can jump to the vlog and take a look at it, because it was a very beautiful location to shoot. Okay, let's get some more coffee in the belly, or a latte, or whatever it is. Ooh, this is a panorama, my only panorama from this from this collage. So this was shot from Queen Elizabeth Park at dusk, and as you can see, there's lots of things going on over here. We have the city of Vancouver, we have some buildings here in the foreground, and of course we have the beautiful North Shore Mountains with the ski run over here at the top. So what I wanted to do here was just get a panorama with the whole city with the mountains in the background. So if I zoom it in and just slide it to the left a little bit here, you can see all this happening in the photo. I think I shot maybe 5 or 6 photos, and then I stitched them in Photoshop and created this panel. And after that, I color graded it a little bit and got these beautiful colors. Or at least I think they're beautiful. This is the best panorama that I shot ever, and we'll see, maybe this year I'm gonna top it with another panorama, but depends on the location as well, right? Because if you shoot a beautiful location like this one, then there's a higher chance to get a beautiful photograph. But if you shoot a dull, mediocre location, that's not gonna be that good of a panorama, right? Okay, so on we go to the next photo, and this is a super dramatic sunset that I shot 10 minutes from my place. Actually, it's called Iona Beach. I go there quite often to shoot photos at sunset, especially when I see that there's partly cloudy sky. I just jump in the car and go to this location to see if I can get some beautiful photos, some beautiful dramatic photos with the sunset and the clouds. So this was at low tide, as you can see here. The water was way out, and what I like about this photo is obviously the dramatism in the sky. This dramatic dark cloud was partially covering the sun, and because of this, the sun backlit the cloud. As you can see on the bottom of the cloud here, is all backlit. And not only that, but look at these light rays that are cast over the mountain over here and creates these pools of shadow and light, which is just beautiful. And to top it all off, we have these birds. As soon as you have some birds in the photo, that makes it even more dramatic. Very beautiful shot. I really like this one. Okay, next. Yes, this one, White Cliff Park, one of the best compositions that I got ever. And I can honestly say this is the strongest suit of this photo, the composition. I went low with the camera. I got these boulders in the foreground just to have some foreground interest, some foreground elements. Then I have a leading line, which is another compositional element. I have these rocks, these boulders that lead to the main subject, which is this cliff. And this cliff here, you can access it when it's low tide. You can just jump on these boulders and then hop on this cliff and go right on top of it and shoot some beautiful photos from there. But in this case, the tide was coming in, and as you can see here, there's a lot of water, so I don't think I could have accessed the cliff at that point. And even if I could have, I probably would have been stranded there because the water was coming in. But anyway, from this location, I managed to get this shot. What also strikes me about the shot is this trails from the plains, this white, and also this cloud over here. And then we have these colors, the overall tone, the overall color tone I really like. We have the blues on top over here, and then it transforms into a white, reddish, yellowish tone. And then of course we have these colors of the cliff, of the boulders, and of course I opted, as I always do, or most of the times I do anyway, I opt for a long exposure, and look how beautiful this all comes together over here. There's no roughness on the surface of the water. It's just smooth, 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 which I really, really love. So overall, a very, very good photo, if you don't mind me saying so. Again, the strongest suit of this photo is the composition and then the colors as well. White Cliff Park. Okay, next. This is a good one. First thing that stands out for this photo, it's the subject. And what helps this photo as well was the fact that it was shot at sunset. Again, sunset. And as I always say, the best sunsets are served at the beach. Now, this photo was not shot at the beach. You can see the water here is very choppy. It has some little waves, and that's because it was shot from the ferry. As I was coming back from Vancouver Island towards Vancouver, I saw this island with these beautiful houses on it, and I thought, man, that's a very good subject. And not only that, but the contrast from the red roof and the white houses with the nature, that means with this yellow orangey sky and of course the blue of the water, I thought it's going to yield some beautiful results. And after I edited the photo, then I truly saw that yes, this is a very, very good photo. Good colors all around, and a very obvious subject with beautiful colors and beautiful contrast from the roof of the building and the white of the walls. Okay, next, let's see what else we have here. Yes, so this one, another photo from Slovenia from last year. This is in the village of Jamnik. This is one of the most photographed locations in Slovenia, and of course I had to go with my friend. It was early in the morning. We were supposed to go to, what was it, Germany, from Slovenia to Germany, to Neuschwanstein Castle. And I knew this location was pretty close to our hotel, so I thought, man, I gotta do a detour, like a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour tops detour to photograph this church. And it's a good thing that I did, because I got some beautiful images from this location, this being one of them. What makes this image good? Well, look at the subject. We have one subject, which is this church over here, perched on the hilltop. And the way I framed this was, I wanted to put the church on the right vertical line. You know, if you think of the rule of thirds, you have 4 lines, 2 vertical and 2 horizontal, and that creates the 9 squares. So this church, I placed it on the right vertical line for 2 reasons. Well, one, and the most obvious one, is look at this road that comes into the frame from the left side and then leads towards the church. you have to have this road in the photo. It's a story element, right? You need to leave it in the photo. You cannot put the church on the left side, because then you will cut a lot of the story, a lot of this road. You will cut it out. And a second reason is on the right side here, out of frame, there was nothing going on. So honestly, there was just trees and that's it. Some clouds and a hint of a mountain in the background, but that's it. There was nothing else going on. So that's why I placed the church on the right side, and then of course I could reveal the road coming in from the left side, creating a beautiful composition. Now of course we have the partly cloudy skies as well, which help for dramatism in a photo. And what I really like about this photo is the contrast between the green vegetation and the blue tint of the mountains and of the sky. And of course the vegetation is not just one shade of green. We have the trees, and then we have the freshly cut grass over here that just creates this beautiful green, punchy green that helps for a very beautiful contrast with the rest of the photo. So beautiful composition all around, beautiful subject to photograph in Jamnik, Slovenia. And let's move on. Oh yeah, this is one of my best shots from 2024, obviously. That's why it's in this video. This is from another vlog that I shot in Tofino. I was shooting left and right and trying different compositions and frames and subjects. The day was just finishing. The light was almost gone. And I thought, let me check this portion of the beach that I haven't been to yet, because I was shooting more to the right of the frame. But I thought, I want to check, go a little bit more to the left and see, maybe I can find some different compositions, some better ones. And sure enough, I discovered this pool of water that was left from the high tide going out. And this was the perfect addition to the frame, because look at these reflections. We have the clouds reflected in this water, in this pool of water, creating a little bit of a symmetry. And if you look at the edges of this pool, we have this beautiful light that's being reflected by the wet sand, and just creates this beautiful like contrast and also delimitation. You can see clearly where the water ends and where the sand begins. So that's what I really like about this photo, and that's why it's a good photo. We have reflections, we have a little bit of a symmetry. Of course, we have these beautiful colors in the sky, and because we have beautiful colors in the sky in the background, we also have beautiful colors in the foreground, because we have this reflection over here, and the clouds and the colors are being reflected in this water. Just beautiful location, Tofino on Vancouver Island. If you go, you'll have no shortage of subjects to photograph over there. Next, look at these light rays, just beautiful. So this photo was shot again in Squamish from that monolith that is called the Chief. And as the sun, I remember that day, as the sun was getting lower, it started to form these beautiful beams of light that were hitting this inlet here. This is not a lake, this is just the Pacific Ocean coming inland, so it's an inlet. It's Howe Sound, I believe it's called. So these light rays were formed by the sun dipping more and more and then shooting its light through these valleys. So it was just beautiful atmospherics and just beautiful photo to be had, to be honest. Now, one thing that it's lacking, and I think it would have made the photo even better, it's this clear sky. If we would have had some dramatic clouds on top, it would have been even better. But even without the clouds, I think it's still a beautiful image, and for me it's one of the best images that I got in 2024. Okay, so this concludes my best photos for 2024. These photos, these are not taken by accident, right? So I had a clear vision of what I want to do. I had a clear work process and thought process how to achieve these photos. And you can download a document if you want. It's about how to achieve these kind of photos, how not to take pictures, but how to create photographs, right? Because there are certain steps that you need to go through to create a beautiful image, starting with a beautiful, beautiful subject. Like a lot of these photos that I showed you, they have a clear subject and a beautiful, beautiful subject, which is the landscape itself, or it could be a mountain, it could be water, it could be some reflections, it could be light rays, it could be anything, but the subject has to be clear, it has to be beautiful. You need to have beautiful light, sunset or sunrises. You need to have good compositions, good frames, you need to have sharp photos, you need to have all of these steps, good editing. So there's a document in the description if you want to check it out. It goes through these steps that you need to go through to give you the best chances to create beautiful photographs. That's it for today. Again, I hope you liked the video. I will see you in the next one. Next one for sure is going to be somewhere on location. And until then, may you have an awesome 2025, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, be good, peace.